Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play with an Expert here on Eat Pray Anime. This is episode 3 of my series on Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. We're still pretty early in the game, and if you missed episodes 1 and 2, do not fear, I will link them in the top corner in case you want to catch up. So where we last left Sakuna, we were tending to our rice fields. As you can see here, we get a little report as to how they're doing when we check in on them. Right now, nothing is really going on. The beginning growing process is very long, slow, and we're just weeding, we're taking care of pests, we're making sure that our rice is in the best shape as possible so that we can improve our stats once the rice is complete. And we are also looking for a number of resources to help our human friend Kinta set up a forge. So I've traveled to this location called the Bounteous Earth Grotto to collect some more resources. They don't really tell you what these spots are, but if you stand in the glowing area, then the number of hours you have left in the day equals the amount of resources you can get from that spot. And it's not made clear exactly what these places are, but to me they seem a lot like power spots, which are not necessarily a Shinto or a Buddhist or a particular religious tradition's idea, but there are a number of power spots in Japan where if you go there, the thought is you can tap into this spiritual energy to be refreshed, to maybe connect with some spiritual entities. So these areas seem like power spots to me, but they never actually explain it. So now I've returned home. As you can see, time has passed from day to night. And one important thing to know in this game is that you need to manage your daytime and your nighttime efficiently. So for example, now I have enough resources to go see Kinta and set up the forge, but you can't craft anything other than food at nighttime. So you really want to manage your time efficiently. Alright, we've got some dialogue coming up. Our ingredients have become spoiled. Food rots. It is life. Preserving what food we do have may be more important than creating lavish meals. Why not dry meat in sun? A good idea. I shall try that. A success. A return. Meat in hand. I shall lay it in the sun and let it dry. Yeah, good job. Now Myrte has learned how to process food. You may have noticed if you were paying close attention that food rots pretty quickly in this game, which is really realistic considering that they don't have refrigerators or anything in this, ancient fantasy Japan. And so you need to process your foods by drying them out, by smoking them, by pickling them in order to make the food last. So you can process food into a number of different recipes. As you can see here, I've made some smoked pork, some smoked rabbit meat. You can either just dry the meat, or if you also have salt in your inventory, you can smoke them. It's a good strategy this early in the game to process as much food as you can at night before it rots. But then also, when you're planning your dinner menu, choose the leftover fresh ingredients first and then have some of the preserved ingredients. That way, none of your food goes to waste and you can keep those preserved foods for when you don't have a lot of fresh resources. So here we have another dinner conversation. Taoemon says, I do wonder why the preeminent goddess would desire to control the island of demons. Yeah, if it were me, I wouldn't want an island crawling with monsters. Can you hazard a guess, Tama? Even I haven't the faintest idea. This isolated island is sequestered by complex currents, is of no geopolitical significance, and lacks any desirable resources. Furthermore, it is home to an endless parade of demons, as well as the Ashigumo tribe, which has no loyalty to the capital. Is it really some place worth expending so much effort to seize? Lord Takeribi shared the same puzzlement. It seems abundantly clear to me that the island is undesirable. It must have some value that remains unseen to us. I do not know what secret this Isle of Demons may be hiding, but I have received an order from Lady Kabuhitsuki herself, so I will carry it out. How bothersome. I wonder if there might be a way to deceive her and return to the capital without dirtying my hands. Hey, get with the program, you deadbeat. Our lives are riding on this. Your affairs are yours alone. It matters not to me how you children of men fare. What did you say? Do not fight while eat. Princess, please choose your words carefully. If you make enemies in such close quarters, you will be in for a difficult road ahead.
This is not good.
I think the sounds that the characters make while they're eating are super funny. In the beginning, they almost always hate the food, and as your menu becomes more sophisticated and you get access to better ingredients, they will start having nice things to say about the meal. Great, glorious grains! Yeah! Power courses through my veins!
You appear to have learned a fighting skill.
I see, so growing rice confers new skills upon me.
It is likely that the growing method you choose determines the skills that you learn. Such is the way of ordinary harvest gods.
How dare you speak the word ordinary in my divine presence? I am far from ordinary.
Do take care, my princess. You cannot use a fighting skill unless you equip it first.
Oh, so you have chosen to ignore your master? How very brazen. Alright, so it's daytime again. We've got to do some weeding. And now that we have the resources, we can go talk to Kinta about creating his forge. Hello, brat. What you want, ugly? I obtained all the necessary materials. I do not know how to make a forge, so Ashigumo can do the rest if he desires. Oh, bless you, fair goddess. Shh, you could deign to be this reverent on a more regular basis, you know. Look, this is my forge. I sincerely doubt you did anything to help create it, but it is quite something. A promise is a promise. I'll make you so many tools they'll be coming out of your ears. Do you not think it a bit early to be brimming with such arrogant confidence? If you find any useful materials, bring them to me. Maybe it'll help me think up a new weapon.
Make something?
So over the course of the game, you can create different weapons and upgrade them with different kinds of materials that you get access to. Right now, we only have access to stone and copper tools. We're literally stuck in the Stone Age. In the equipment menu, we can equip the new tools that we've created. We can also upgrade them using this crystallized spirit energy called spirit bows. And some of these upgrades require you to fulfill certain tasks. And we can also equip the new fighting skill that we gained from growing our rice to a certain point. There doesn't seem to be much left to do here, and the rice is still growing, so we can follow the next quest objective to investigate Eggplant Hollow. Alright, let's check this place out. So we gained a simple recipe scroll, and if we go into our items in our inventory, we can read the scroll and it tells us the ingredients that we need for a couple of dishes. What I really like about this game is a lot of it is trial and error. Not a lot of things are explained to you. And, oftentimes there are these long tutorials of how exactly to do everything. So having to figure a lot of things out for yourself, I found, is actually really enjoyable. So once we reach the interior of Eggplant Hollow, we find this giant door that refuses to open. Two conspicuous holes beckon to be filled with something. So we need to go find some keys or something to open up this big, mysterious door. Alright, we find in this straw basket the first key, the waxing crescent stone. So now we know we're probably looking for a waning crescent stone so that the two halves of the moon stone will go together. And open the door. feels like a pretty huge map. Okay, we kind of went in a loop, so now let's try looking in the opposite direction. Okay, so this alert telling me that Fierce Furrow proficiency has been raised tells me that the fighting skills gain power according to how often you use them. These sparrow enemies like to move around as a flock, so if you can line them up in the sky and then come straight down on all of them, it's really satisfying and you can get rid of them super quickly. This map is so big and there's so many enemies that I know I'm gonna have a ton of resources and food things that I'll be able to process at night. And now we've got the Waning Crescent Stone, so we can head back to the door and see what's behind it. Just kidding, I went in there and there was a huge boss and I totally got my ass kicked. So I had to leave and go back home. My rice is ready for harvesting, so I decided, okay, I will focus on my rice first. Let's get this crop, and then when I am upgraded because of the rice, I'll go back and try again. So once the mature rice sheaves are harvested, you need to lay them out to dry on these racks, or wooden frames they call them.
It's done.
Which doesn't take too much time. Which doesn't take a lot of time, especially if you only have 1-2 sheaves of rice. So you have to wait a while for it to dry. Oh shoot, I pressed the button. No, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I guess we're moving on to the next step because I got butterfingers. Alright, so we head into the granary and we use this contraption called the kokibashi to thresh the rice, removing the rice husks from the rest of the rice plant. You know, just getting the grains basically. This is clearly sped up. It takes a little bit of time to get used to the controls on this. Clearly my rice was not dry enough, but oh well, better luck next time. Oh shoot, my rabbit meat spoiled. Oh, okay, so time passes when you are processing the rice, and now it's daytime, so it's too late, you know, to have dinner. I see that I got a new fighting skill just from the threshing process, so that's great. So now I'm hulling the rice. I'm pounding the rice to remove the husks. It says the more you hull, the whiter the rice becomes. Brown rice gives better food bonuses, while white rice improves your growth. So I'm definitely going for white rice because that is a permanent stat boost rather than a temporary stat boost that you get from the brown rice. But as you can see, it takes a long time to hull the rice all the way to pure white rice. How fast do you think that I sped up this process in post? Times 2? Times 3? This is actually sped up 5 times, 500%. The hulling takes so long and you're just pounding it up and down and up and down and up and down. But I mean, it does kind of give you the sense that this is a tiresome process that takes a lot of effort. But now we have the complete product, white rice. Alright, so we've completed harvest number 1. For quite a while in the game they'll tell you that you're not doing very well, and I was like, oh no, did I do something wrong? But no, I mean, she's gonna say that every time until you get to rice crop number like 20, 30, and then it starts to change. At the end of each harvest you get this really detailed rice report. In the beginning, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me, but you're kind of just feeling it out as you go along. You don't really know what you're supposed to be doing, so you can find some information in here. Like, for example, I should have waited for the rice to be drier. It says I should have used fertilizer in the winter. I didn't know that, so, you learn as you go along.
We've managed to sustain ourselves until the harvest, but...
The stalks look to be a touch more robust, but the paddy yield is scarce at best.
if we deduct the seeds we'll need for next year's crop, we won't have enough to eat.
And yet, meager as it is, the crop did indeed increase. You have made progress, Princess. This is the period that will test your patience.
Ugh, how detestable. A rough winter lies ahead for us all.
We did it! We created harvest number 1. So now we have a new fighting skill that we should equip, and hopefully we're strong enough that we can go fight the boss. Spinning Strike is definitely one of my favorite fighting skills, especially for fighting sparrows and other enemies in the air. You just do a really crazy whirling attack straight down. Use gravity to pummel your enemies. So now it's nighttime. Now that I'm stronger, I can go and fight enemies at night. Beforehand, I tried it. I didn't show it because, again, I got my ass kicked. Literally, I would hit them and they would lose no damage at all. But now, because my stats are higher because of my first crop of rice, I can fight them on my own terms. I can beat them, which is great because there are certain kinds of what they call elemental resources that you can only get from enemies by fighting them at nighttime. So and now I've got this warning telling me that my stomach is growling, it's empty, I'm hungry, and I won't recover health until I have another meal. So it's a good idea after this fight to go home and, process the foods that I've found as resources and to have dinner before I go fight the boss. And while I'm here, I'm just, running around, see if I can pick up any pests. You can eat the grasshoppers, you can put the frogs in your field, and they'll help take care of the bugs that will eat your crop. So it's a good idea to just take a look around, pick up what you can. Now we can see that we can process way more foods than we could before because we have rice in our inventory. So we can create vinegar, malt, mochi. I love mochi, so that's super fun. You can also make dried boiled rice and kuchikami sake. If you're a fan of Shinkai Makoto's film Your Name, there is a ritual in the movie where Mitsuha, one of the main characters, she is a Miko, a shrine maiden, and she performs this ritual to make kuchikami sake, which is sake that is fermented through human saliva and a person actually chewing up the rice and spitting it into a box and leaving it in a dark corner for a long time and then drinking the sake that actually is created. So, the game has a little joke about it stinking to high heaven, but sake is sake and we can make it in this game. So that's a fun little crossover with Kimi no Na wa, or Your Name. So we've got another fun dinner conversation. How come you get to gulp down sake while the rest of us are stuck drinking water? This is because you are children and I am an adult. In my village, anyone over 10 could drink. I wouldn't want it anyway. Your bodies still grow every day. Be patient. That time will be here before you know. Aw, come on. Just a little sip wouldn't hurt. Just drop it already.
Ha ha ha, there's no hurry to rush into adulthood. I look forward to the day when I can share a glass with you, Kinta.
Don't tease me. Okay, so it's officially winter. These seasons move really quickly in this game. There's 3 days for each season. So I'm gonna ask Toemon what I should do, but he's no help. So I remember from the rice report that it said I didn't use fertilizer before I planted my crop. So this time I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna make fertilizer by dumping, human waste into this hole, and then you can add in different resources, base components to make the fertilizer. You can actually specify the kind of fertilizer you want to make based on the growing cycle. So first you want to create root fertilizer, then kernel fertilizer, and then leaf fertilizer. So right now I'm looking to make root fertilizer, and I can add different things in my inventory to improve the stats of the rice. But you can see that if I add certain elements, it also may attract more pests. So you have to balance the pluses and the minuses. Oh, is that Yui and Kaimaru over there?
No.
Wee! No. Aww. Go away. To talk about a cold shoulder, I could swear my own bones just rattled as if beset by winter's chill. That dour attitude will hurt poor little Kaimaru. I must intervene. Oh, goddess. Today I shall lumber over to the forest. Wouldn't you say that I have the timber to be a world-class woodcutter? Ha ha ha. You might say I'm trying to see the forest for the trees. Gwa ha ha. Not so much as a smirk. Tough crowd. Damn, Yui's a stone-cold savage. Anyways, we're heading back to Eggplant Hollow to fight the big boss. What is this? A dead end? Nothing is here. Ah! Oh-ho, you are quite the sizable brute indeed. So it's to be a divine brawl, is it? Then attack me with all your might. How did that taste, you theory vulgarian? Ahem. But where was such a large demon hiding in a room to snare out?
I imagine that it watched us open the door and hurried in behind us, but the equipment it wielded was of unusual quality. Where did it get that on an isolated island?
Now that you mention it, it does seem odd. More pressingly, I find it unfathomable that the door I toiled to open merely led to an empty room. Just where shall I vent this fury? I found a spirit bow.
Well now, what a fortunate discovery.
was this? I could not see so much as a hand's breadth in front of my face.
This blizzard will undoubtedly have the demons holed up in their dens as well. We will not be able to hunt for some time.
Welcome back, Lady Sakuna and Tama. Please, feel free to change into more suitable attire and warm yourself by the fire.
What, may I ask, are these supposed to be?
What? Are your eyes broken all of a sudden? They're tekusari dumplings?
Myrte and I made them. If we're to survive until next year, we can't fill our stomachs with rice alone.
Isn't kusari the word for rotten in Yamato? That doesn't sound particularly appetizing.
In my hometown, we called them red spider lily dumplings. The spider lily itself is a poisonous plant, but if you crush the roots and soak them in water, then you get these...
I've had quite enough! What could be more tragic than someone of my noble status being exiled to this backwater island and fed poisonous dumplings?
My cooking... not poison.
Lady Sakuna, the poison has been removed. Do not fret, Myrte. A quick rinse will make them good as new.
I worked as I was told to this entire year! Day after day, I hunted, tended the fields, and kept a watchful eye on you people. And as a reward for my back-breaking labor, I am offered this inedible refuse! Has the world gone mad? Nothing has improved at all!
Whine all you want, Miss High and Mighty. You've got no meat or veggies, so you should be grateful for whatever we put on your plate.
I think it's pretty yummy, actually.
Princess, just where do you think you're going?
I dashed out rather impetuously. He should have put a raincoat on first. Excuse myself from this duty. Right or wrong, I'll return home and flop down onto my nice warm bed. I care nothing for those people. They exist only to conspire against me and make my life harder. And Tama, too. How dare he take their side when he's supposed to be my servant? Ugh! Connivers, all of them! Done! I thought I was going to die. The night sea is a pitch black abyss. No way to get my bearings, no way to escape the elements, no way to see. How am I supposed to reach the capital under such harrowing conditions?
Lady Sakuna!
They came for me? In this horrible snowstorm? I suppose I'll just have to return and take care of them.
This is a good place to sign off. We harvested our first crop, we beat our first boss, and now we're heading into harvest number 2. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.